Hi students, good morning to all of you. Welcome to the channel of Oriental Public School. Myself Shaharyar Alam. Today we are going to discuss the topic unemployment, which is in Indian economic development of class 12. And as you know, for term 2, Indian economic development starts from the topic employment. So, before starting the topic employment, it would be better to know the basic concepts of the chapter. Among few basic concepts, first one is unemployment. Unemployment means the situation when people are willing to work at the existing wage rate and are able to work but are not getting work. It means the economy has not the opportunity to give work to the people who have the intention to work and they have the ability to do the work, but the economy has no opportunity to give them work. Means there is crisis of jobs, crisis of work, and everyone is not getting the job very easily. That situation can be called unemployment. Next one is worker. Worker means an individual who is involved in some economic activity to earn a living. Means those individuals who are engaged in some economic activity to earn some money to sustain in the economy and for the survival of their life. Workers can be categorized as paid worker and self-employed worker. Paid worker is that worker who is engaged under someone, who works under someone. Means there is one employer and there is one employee. And for the work, the employee is paid remuneration by the employer. That type of worker can be said paid worker. And another category one is self-employed worker. Self-employed means those people, those persons who have their resources like capital, entrepreneur, and they want to take the risk for doing the work. Then that type of work can be said as self-employed worker. Here, the term worker does not mean the people who are working physically. Don't misunderstood with the term. Here, worker means all the people who want to do the work, whether by themselves or by under someone. So, the work of a farmer, the work of a manager, the work of a laborer, the work of a doctor, barbers, professors, all can be said as the worker, and their work is divided as paid worker and self-employed worker. The next concept is labor supply. Here, labor supply refers to the amount of labor that the workers are willing to offer corresponding to a particular wage rate. It means how much the wage rate is going on in the market, they are ready to do the work. And that amount of labor can be said as the labor supply. Another point one is labor force. Here in labor force, two categories are included. One, the person who are already working and the other who want to do the work or to avail the opportunity to do the work. When we sum up these two categories, then we can say it is labor force. The third one is workforce. Here, workforce means the number of persons who are actually employed at a particular time are known as workforce. Means if we talk about a particular day, particular week, particular month, then how much people were engaged in the process of work. Actually, they were working. Then this can be said as workforce. So, through workforce and labor force, we can calculate the situation of unemployment in the economy. So, if you want to calculate number of unemployment people in the economy, then we have to deduct workforce from the labor force, because workforce means the people actually working and labor force actually working plus those who want to do the work. When we deduct workforce from the labor force, we will get workforce. The next point is worker population ratio. It means worker population ratio is an indicator which is used to analyze the employment situation in the country. Means how much persons are working in the economy. It can be calculated with worker population ratio. When we divide the number of people working by total population and multiply with 100, then it can be said as worker population ratio. The next one is gross domestic product. Gross domestic product means the total money value of all goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country. Means if we talk about any particular country, then how much goods and services are produced in that country within the domestic territory. It can be said as gross domestic product. And if we talk about gross national product means when we add net factor income from abroad with GDP, then we will get gross national product. Gross national product means GDP, the amount or the value of all goods and services produced within the domestic territory, and net factor income from abroad means how much amount comes from foreign countries and how much we are paying to other countries. When we will differentiate between these two and the net effect of these two, which may be positive, negative or zero, we will add with the GDP, then we will get gross national product. It can be said as the GNP. Now come to the main topic of our discussion, that is employment. Employment is an economic activity which enables a person to earn means of living. Means if we talk about economic activity, there are three types of economic activity we do. One is business, another one profession, and the third one employment. Employment means if a person works under someone, means there is employer as well as employee, and the employer pays remuneration or salary to the person who work under him, that is employee. Means to complete to discuss the meaning of employment, there should be a relationship between employer as well as employee. So it refers an arrangement by which a person earns income or means of livelihood, because for survival everyone needs resources, and then resources they will get by doing economic activity, which may be in the form of employment, maybe in the form of business, or in the form of profession. But our topic of discussion is employment. So employment may be classified as self-employed and wage employment. Self-employment here refers to the arrangement in which worker uses his own resources to make a living is known as self-employment. In other words, we can say self-employment is the activity of business also, because the person engages his own resources. That resource may be in the form of labor, capital, or entrepreneur. And by engaging these resources, he starts the activity of producing or buying or selling from the market and to the market. That activity can be said self-employment or the business. The person like a shopkeeper, a trader, a businessman, they are not working under anyone. They do the work themselves, and whatever profits comes, they take the profit or uh, losses themselves. So this type of activity can be said as self-employment. Another category is wage employment. Wage employment is an arrangement in which worker sells his labor and earns wage in return. Means they are working under someone. Someone means the employer. And for the work they are doing for the employer, they are paid wages or salaries. Such type of employment can be said as wage employment. Means if the worker who do the activity of employment or work under someone, if they would have the resources, then they would do their own business. But here they don't have the resources and they are bound to work under someone. Then that activity can be said as wage employment. And this is the real meaning of employment. This, this wage employment can further be classified into two categories. One is regular employment, another one casual employment. Regular employment is that employment in which a worker is engaged by someone or by an enterprise and is paid wages on regular basis. Then such worker is known as regular salaried employees. Means they are engaged under the employment for full time, and they are on the permanent role of the company or the organization where they are working. Such workers are hired on a permanent basis and they are enrolled in the payroll of the company or the organization and get social security benefits like pension, PF, and all other benefits which are provided by the employer to the employee. Such type of employment can be said regular employment or salaried employee. Another category is casual employment. Casual employment means worker who are casually engaged in return get remuneration for the work done are termed as casual worker. Means they are not the regular worker of the organization or of the employer. The employer hires that type of worker only they require the work, and when they don't need, they terminate the worker. And the laborers who are working under such situations, whenever they have the intention to do work, they join any organization, they start to work under any employment. But when they feel they are not ready to do the work, they themselves not, they themselves remove them from the organization. Such type of employment can be said as casual employment. Here we have to remember that under casual employment or the employer is not giving any social security benefits to the employees. At the same time, their income is not regular because sometimes they work, sometimes they do not work. Protection or regulation from the government is not there, and no any protection is given to such type of employees. There is no any job security that how long they will work in the organization, and no any social benefits given to such type of employees. So here, employment, we divided employment into two categories. One is self-employment and wages employment. Wages employment further classified and regular employment and casual employment. So today, today we discuss about the basic concepts of employment, its category. In our next class, we will discuss the causes of employment, remedies to improve the employment situation. So in our next class, we will discuss that topic. Thank you very much.